Good morrow, my lovely little ghosts, and welcome to the Dark Orchard. I'm Laura, and this is a concert review. As I said in my intro, this is a concert review. More specifically, I'm going to be walking you through my experience with the Andy Black concert at the Blind Tiger in Greensboro, North Carolina. Before we get into the concert, I want to talk about what I wore to the concert. Most of you have been following my journey ever since Alt Press released their cover, and I was so excited by the green to the actual completion. But by now, if you're watching this, you've most likely seen what I wore to the concert, and that's a dress that I made. So I want to take a brief moment and explain my start to finish process with this dress. So I had about 4 different concept pieces that I was thinking about doing, and this was after I found the actual fabric. Before I found the actual fabric, I was just thinking of like dress shapes. But when I was at Joann's and I came across this black fabric that had lime green bats on it, I knew that was it. That was the fabric for this dress. And I couldn't be happier with my decision. I'm so glad that I came across this fabric because, ironically, this was the only store that had that fabric in stock anywhere around me. Like, not even 3 hours away did they have this fabric. But it was a 30-minute drive into another state, and I just happened to already be there, and I ran across this fabric. I'm elated. I'm so excited. So I go home and I start sketching out things. My first concept was this. It was going to be a black skirt here, lime green ribbon around the waistband, and then the same black fabric here for the sleeves that I would have in an underskirt here. And then all of this would be black, and the bodice would be black. And that was the design I was pretty set on, but then I went up here, and I was like, what if I made the entire bodice out of the black and green fabric? But I never even finished coloring that because I kind of did like a half bodice and decided I didn't really like the look of that. From there, I sort of like split them in half and came up with 2 totally different ideas. Would have been a baby doll dress that had the underskirt, just the black with bats. And then the majority of the dress would be a solid black, and then the black with bats for the sleeves, which would be princess puffs, and then a ruched middle with 2 panels in the bodice. And while that would have been cute, I'm not sure it would have been too flattering, so I scrapped that. And then this was my last drawn concept. It still had the raised skirt, a black dress, lime green ribbon, and then come back to the idea of doing the black and green bats as the straps only, and maybe an outline up here, and then of course the peak out of the skirt. As you know, I didn't do that. As I was making this dress, it just wasn't coming together. I decided I was going to do a waistband out of the black and green fabric. I didn't like it, so then I was like, well, maybe if I put a split down the middle of the bodice like I had with the ruching, maybe that will look cute. And I didn't like that either. But then I added a split down the middle of the skirt, and instead of doing an underskirt, what I did was I pinned what I had already cut for the underskirt into that panel, and I basically drafted this whole dress. Because even though I originally used patterns, I altered the patterns so much that this dress became mostly drafted, like 90-some% drafted. Because I just kept tinkering with it and wasn't happy, I took the entire waistband out, just pinned the black to black, and we get what I wore. So now that we're at this point, I want to show you a few fine details on the dress, and then we'll jump into the concert review. This dress was based off of a few things. 1, the green Andy Black alternative press cover. The black and green shirt that was available on the Ghost of Ohio website. It was also inspired by the Ghost of Ohio and the green tint that the ghost actually has on the cover. So overall, this dress was just inspired by the whole release of the Ghost of Ohio. And And I feel like it actually kind of goes with it, and was so happy with it. For the hem of the skirt, I decided to use a dark purple thread instead of a black thread, and I wanted to just have that subtle hint of purple, just like the Ghost of Ohio has a very subtle hint of purple in his hair highlight. Now, I know that's just because of the way the light's hitting and the shading for the light, but just a little homage to the Ghost of Ohio. In addition to the purple stitching, I also added lace. I added lace to the bodice and to the split down the middle. I actually did end up going with a princess cap sleeve. However, I did not make it a fitted cap sleeve, and I added a very cute band accenting the black and green fabric. I actually wore some really cute new suede high heels with a pointed toe, and yes, I regretted it. My toes killed me, my heels hurt, but they looked real super cute with the dress, so I don't really regret it, but I regret it. My friend Sarah actually gifted me the skeleton while we were at Triad Anime Con, and I fell in love instantly. I was like, oh my god, that matches my dress perfectly. It actually glows in the dark. It's just a resin cast, but it's green and sparkly. What I did was I added the lace, the same lace that I used for the dress, all the way around it. And then that just kind of gave it a base, something to stick to. And then I adhesed a wig clip to the back. So that I could clip it into my hair. And here is an up close of the skeleton hand. Another accessory that I had on me was actually my purse, and it was a ghost-shaped purse. And I thought it was the cutest thing. It was just a fluffy white ghost with a gold chain attached, and it's precious. It's got a little zipper on the back, and what I did was I stuck my charger and a couple of other things inside, and then I rolled up a small drawstring bag and stuffed it in the top. So once I got into the VIP and they started handing me stuff, I had somewhere to put it. Another quote-unquote accessory, I guess you could say, would be my nails. I did do my nails specifically for my dress. So for most of them, I actually just did bat stamps, but my control finger, I did some green and pink rhinestones to match the green and pink on the Ghost of Ohio cover, and then I did a little blood splatter on the pinky with a coffin. A very small detail was actually a decorative zipper on the back, and it's just a decorative lace zipper that goes a quarter of the way down my back. I really didn't even need it, but I liked that little pop of lace on the back. One last minute thing that I did was actually add ribbon to the sides of my dress. I actually seam ripped the skirt out of it and added ribbon into it so that I could tie it around my back, because I originally had darts in the back and it poofed up at the end of the darts and made me look like I had wings, and like not attractive wings. So I instead took the darts out and seam ripped the sides of the skirt, and then I inserted the ribbon and sewed it back up with the ribbon inside, which created a more cinched waist look than what I had originally. As you can see here, it's sewn right into the waistline. And last but certainly not least, I added a cameo. And I attached a cameo that I had to a pin. Put the pin right in between where the bodice stops and the skirt begins. So the split and the bodice were separated where they originally weren't. So this is the cameo that I worked with. As you can see, it's actually a skeleton cameo. So with the black and green fabric, I actually had about a 2-yard wingspan, and I love that. I love being able to twirl and spin and lift the corner of my dress up. However, it was extremely windy while we were waiting in the VIP line, and my skirt did come up a couple of times, but it's okay because I was wearing real cute Batman undies. I still don't think anyone saw, but if you did, at least you just saw some cute Batman undies. And so that brings me to the concert. So as I was saying, it was actually rather windy while we were waiting for VIP. The VIP line was actually 70 people, and when they separated the VIP from general admission, it was about 70 people in each line. Half of us were VIP. I will always do VIP at an Andy show because I absolutely love meeting him. I think it's a wonderful experience. Security was phenomenal. They were very efficient and they made their directions clear. The female that had us going through the door and was checking our bags and patting people down, she made it extremely clear from the beginning, if you try to bottleneck and rush me, you will not get through the door. I want you single file, coming through the door one by one. And they had Andy's safety in mind, his best interest. There are some crazies out there, so I'm very, very happy that they were thorough and just, they did their job well. When she stopped me, she actually looked through my bag and found my charger and was confused. She'd never seen a charger like that before. It was a big old brick. Do I have it in here? Yeah. So I had this phone charger with me, and she was like, is this a recording device? Like, she just was confused about what it was. I was like, no, it's a phone charger. There were about 13 of us to show up that all knew each other, whether we be cosplayers or fans of Andy's music or both. And it was actually really cool seeing how many people we could actually get together. Some people I had met at the Black Veil concert or met because of the Black Veil concert, and some people from Twitter and from cosplay, and just, it's amazing how you can meet people. We did sort of a sound off in a private message trying to figure out where each person was in line, but then we ended up almost all being together in line. I know 2 people were actually further back in line, but most of us were about the same area, and it was just really awesome. The Blind Tiger itself is actually a very small venue. It's so small that there's not even a backstage area, so all the buses were parked just outside the door, so they had us all line up single file, just kind of leading up through the barricade. And we all individually got our signed copies of the Ghost of Ohio comic book, and I'm so happy to have a signed copy. It's actually right there for now. Just for now, it's right there. But as soon as I can, I'm going to put it in a comic sleeve, and I'm going to put it with my other comic books because I don't want it to get messed up, and I for sure do not want the signature to rub off. So after the VIP, like I said, I had a drawstring bag inside of my little ghost bag, and I just took the drawstring bag out. I emptied what was in the little ghost into the drawstring bag, including my Ghost of Ohio comic book, and then I put all of that into the drawstring bag and put it on my back for the concert. That way I didn't have a bag sliding off my arm the whole time, and I had somewhere to put the autographed comic book. Once we got the comic books, we were schooled on the typical no hugging Andy because he gets very sick very quickly, and you know, the different rules you go through when you meet Andy. And of course I'd heard it before, so I knew what to expect. Some can always expect some people to be disappointed by the rules, but they are for Andy's safety, and they are for the sake of time management. Please do not get discouraged when you hear me say that Andy doesn't do hugs. He kind of does do hugs. He just doesn't do like huge bear hugs, like a full front big hug, because that gets his face too close to your face. There's germs, there's touching, there's ick, and it's just not fun. Especially not for someone who gets sick at the drop of a dime. We all know Andy gets sick at least once during every tour, so we have to prevent that at all costs. But I promise you, when he hooks you in with that arm, you totally feel it, and it feels like a hug. So please do not let that discourage you from getting the VIP package. It's 100% worth it. While we're on the subject, a lot of people get a little upset if they've brought artwork or something for Andy to sign rather than to keep, because he doesn't do impromptu signings during the meet and greet. And when he does do signings, it's orchestrated a little differently, you have more time, things like that. For example, at Carolina Rebellion, you were allowed one item. You could either choose the picture that they provided, or you could have brought your own thing, but autographs are regulated for a reason. And one big reason is that it's just time consuming. I've seen live footage of him signing things before. It takes a long time for someone to sign their name to something, even when they're professional at it. And again, we all know Andy, and we know that he's a perfectionist. We know that he has a specific way that he signs his name, and he wants to take the time to do that. He might have gotten faster with it over the years, but he still likes to take his time, make sure it looks right, make sure you can actually legitimately read the signature. So I personally do like when they give you pre-signed items, because that just means that he took the time and signed that individual item. And there's no hassle, there's no holding anything up, there's no people complaining. It just goes really smooth. The other reason that autographs necessarily aren't a thing that he would do during a meet and greet photo is if he's trying to meet you and sign something, it's not only going to be sloppy, but he doesn't really know what he's signing. So because he wouldn't know what he was signing, he might be signing a deal with the devil, and he's learned his lesson since he's been working on American Satan. Andy was escorted into the room.
Remember, guys, once you're done, please through that little gate over there. Thank you.
He actually came in with his sunglasses on, which again disappointed some people because we all love to see those bright blue eyes, and it would have been awesome to have that in a picture. But it's understandable because one, we were in North Carolina and the pollen is really bad, so puffy eyes are a thing. And two, it was still daylight out, so it's understandable. And we all got to take our pictures. I actually got some footage of some people that were in our group chat meeting Andy. When it was my turn to meet Andy, he actually recognized me once I introduced myself, and he told me I was best dressed, which made me feel so wonderful because I had spent so much time making this dress and theming it around his album that I left the picture elated. And this is the very first VIP picture that I actually like. All my other VIP pictures, there's just been something weird about it. But this one, I have zero complaints. I am so happy with this picture. Here it is. Isn't it just cute? It's so cute. I love it. I actually love it. There was a girl behind us in the VIP line whose mom surprised her with VIP. The mom didn't get VIP, so she didn't get the perks, but she got to go through with her. By the time the girl got to meet Andy, she was sobbing happy tears. It was the most beautiful moment I've ever witnessed during a meet and greet, because she was shaking. She was just all aflutter. She called him a god. Like, she had no idea how to address him, how to meet him, and it was so pure and so pretty. And I'm so happy that I got to witness that moment. That was just so cute. Once we were done with our VIP experience, we were told to go out into what they called the cage, but it was a gated area outside. It was a gated patio. And this was so that we could keep all the VIP people separate and get them scanned in while keeping Andy safe. And they fit all 70 of us out on the patio and then escorted Andy back to his bus. And once he was back on the bus, we were let inside so that we could purchase merch if we wanted to, and of course get first access to the barricade. I got a tour t-shirt because all the other t-shirts were just smaller medium, which is a problem because I'm not a smaller medium. I'm actually large, extra large. So I really liked a couple of other designs, but the tour shirt actually says, "Hey, Andy was in Greensboro and I went there because I'm wearing the shirt." So that's the one that I got. And then as soon as that happened, I walked over, I ran into My Will to Breathe again, and we ended up standing a little to the left of center stage.
Subscribe to your brand new obsession.
Yes.
While we waited for the bands to start, myself and My Will to Breathe actually were turning to people and telling them to subscribe to Your Brand New Obsession. We actually watched them do it, so we know at least a few people actually subscribed. So if you're not subscribed to Your Brand New Obsession, please go subscribe. Let's help Jake Bateman hit 100,000 subscribers. So if you're not subscribed, pause this video right now, I'll wait, and go subscribe to him. Still waiting. Okay, you're back. Welcome back. You never left, and you're already subscribed to your brand new obsession, so thank you. My friend Amber was one of the people that came all the way from Virginia, and she actually let me meet her at her hotel room, leave my car there, and then we took an Uber, Blind Tiger. That way I didn't have to worry about parking, because Sarah and I had already driven by the venue, and it looked like there were very limited parking spaces, and because it's right off of a college campus, I was too afraid of getting towed.
Cannot see her at all. There we are.
I actually just had Amber in front of me, and then I was right behind her, and she was on the barricade. So I had a clear view of sight because I was wearing heels, and she's my normal height, and she wasn't wearing heels. So I had a clear view the whole night. Funny fact, my friend Sarah actually didn't show up until after they dimmed the lights. Sarah actually took a nap while we were all doing the VIP thing because she didn't have to be there till general admission, and she just took her time. So I was there like 4 hours before she was. But she did show up, and she said she had a great time, so I'm glad. I'm really glad that she decided to show up.
The late arrival. I had to nap.
So like I said, in total we had about 13 cosplayers and music lovers. So the opening band, Kulik, was absolutely awesome. I know my group was absolutely fascinated by April the keyboardist. There was something about her that just like captivated us, and we all were talking about her, and we talked about her after their set. Like, I'll throw in some clips here because just the keyboardist alone was just fantastic.
My name is Jacob. What's your name? That was my first try doing that. I was curious what was going to happen there. No, I didn't hear anything. No. Good try. I'm half deaf in both ears, so whenever you do yell something, I don't hear it anyway. So I can't see you and I can't hear you, so it's like I'm playing in a bedroom by myself. Which is cool. Alright, so this is our last one called Ghost. Once again, we are a band called Kulik. If you guys want to film something and tag us, our social is at KULICK official. We have 2 shirts over there. Come buy one, we'll sign it, we'll take pictures.
The opening act had a really great sound. I really liked them, and they had songs that were themed for the tour. The second act was wild. The Fame, amazing. Absolutely amazing. They did a great job of hyping the crowd up. The lead singer, who kind of reminds you of a mix between an Australian Mick Jagger and Stuart Townsend from Queen of the Damned, just was mind-blowing. The way that he enticed the crowd. He did like this really cool gaze at the crowd and did like the crow style stare. And actually, the girl beside of me said that she was a little scared at first because he had a really awesome stage presence.
Pretty loud. I feel sorry for everyone here. I'm scaring the shit out of everyone.
The character about him. And he had really awesome pants too. He had red and yellow plaid pants, but they were actually red plaid on the front and yellow plaid on the back. You know me, I like fashion, so that was just so fun. He had really fun pants. He actually even went out into the crowd, and he sang on the bar too. He got the crowd really involved, really pumped up, and really ready for Andy's set. After the fame, we got a little footage of Yanni being a literal boss and just doing his absolute best on that stage. But Andy's physical set looked gorgeous. There was a tombstone set up on stage, and behind the tombstone was actually like his water, his lozenges, and his throat spray. And then on either side were podiums, and the podiums had flowers on top. Gorgeous setup. Stunning. It was visually stunning, and it had us captivated before he even came on stage.
North Carolina, how we feeling tonight? Thank you very much for coming out to the show tonight. I put out a new record called The Ghost of Ohio about a week ago.
Despite the North Carolina pollen attacking Andy, he put on a wonderful show. The crowd, or at least the crowd that was around me, knew all the lyrics to every single song. It was just an overall magical experience to see so many people engaged with the show and interacting with it, and it was absolutely wonderful. In true Andy style, we actually got a few comedy moments.
Thank you. You guys having fun so far tonight? Let's give it up for the other bands who played. How about Cool It? Give it up for Cool It. And how about The Fame? I'd like to introduce you to my band. On guitar, keys, bass, everything else is Lonnie Eagleton. Give it up for Lonnie. Lonnie has one pair of shoes that I really enjoy when he wears on this tour. He's got a bunch of different fancy footwear, but tonight he's got these like slippers that don't fit his feet all the way, and I want him to show them off to you guys right now. Please check out Lonnie's feet. Lonnie, what is the name of these shoes?
They're called baboosh.
I love them so much. Please give it up for Lonnie's footwear. I never talk about Lonnie's shoes without asking him to also do a dance that corresponds with that. So what is the dance that goes with these shoes? I didn't expect it at all, and I'm so happy about it. That's my favorite moment of the whole tour. I've never seen someone play like a Randy Rhoads solo while moonwalking before. Thank you, Lonnie. You're the best. Give it up for Lonnie. On drums, I have Sage Weber. Give it up for Sage. I hate to say this, Sage, but there's no way to follow it. There's no way. But the thing is that it's Sage's birthday tonight, so we have to say something for his birthday. Let's sing happy birthday to him. How about that? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. What?
It's not my birthday today.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, I'm so sorry. That's really embarrassing. Is it anybody's birthday for real? Yeah. Let's finish the song. Happy birthday. That was very embarrassing, Sage. You really put me on the spot there.
Sorry, it's my birthday.
I really thought it was your birthday. Now I'm embarrassed. Lonnie, will you do the thing again so I feel less embarrassed? You missed the whole fucking drum roll for you. Wouldn't it be funny if there was no more songs, it's just this for 45 minutes? What does that sign say? Walmart brand Andy beer sack. I skipped prom for this? I didn't even go to prom. I didn't even finish high school. Don't do that. Finish school. I'm just a dumb guy who wears high pants for a living. It's not my idea. So I had surgery like a week and a half ago. It was a very small surgery. I had my appendix removed. How many people have an appendix? Well, fuck you. That's a weird thing to brag about. I tell you I don't have an appendix, and you're like, ooh, you don't have an appendix. This is mean. I want to still have my appendix, but they took it away from me. I asked for it, and they told me to leave the hospital, because apparently that's a weird thing to ask for. So I'm going to dedicate a song to my appendix. It's called Broken Pieces. There was two things that happened that I really love. His guitar rang out like a little too long, and then everyone was dead fucking silent. And I just got to hear every last little decay of that guitar. And all I can think about is how much I love Lonnie's little dance that he did earlier, and I can't stop fucking thinking about it. And that last song is like a very serious song, and I have to be honest with you, I'll admit, at least twice during that song, I thought about him moonwalking. I'm sorry about that. It's part of my life now.
And then one of the most emotionally fueled parts of the show was when Andy got the audience to sing Savior, which is a Black Veil Bride song, with him. It was beautiful, and I actually got a clip of that too, and I'll pop that in right here.
You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming out tonight. I'm gonna try a little something right now. We haven't really done this on this tour, but I want to sing a song with you guys, if that's okay. Lonnie, what do you want to do? You want to start? Or I start? I'll start. You start. All right, see if you know it. If you know it. Let's sing together. Never meant to be the one, but now I know my wounds are sore. I will take this burden on, but remember I am human, and I'm bound to sing this song. So close. We did pretty good at the verse. We've never fucking done this before. We're literally rehearsing this right now with you. I figured you guys are really good singers, so we could do this. Let's try this chorus again. We're gonna start together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Savior will be there when you are feeling alone. Sing. Savior, all that you do, so that was fun. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
One thing about Andy is he knows how to captivate an audience with just a look. We were talking about this after the show, actually. There's something about when Andy's on stage that he can make every single person in that audience feel special and feel like he sees you. Like, I've seen so many people that are like, he looked right into the camera. That's just a little something, but it's something that he does that is just so special to so many people. That's something I really always brag on Andy about, because he has that ability to make you feel special with a look or just a few seconds worth of conversation. At the end of the show, Andy actually went off stage, but he actually went off to the left side of the stage, stage right, and we all knew he was going to have to come back for an encore, or at least come out in front of us again, because, like I said, the Blind Tiger is a very small venue, and he actually went towards the men's bathroom instead of an exit. I have a clip of us encouraging an encore, and then he came back and he played the title track for The Ghost of Ohio. I love this song. I could listen to The Ghost of Ohio over and over again, so it was so wonderful that he closed the show off with it. I actually wish that he would have played more songs from the new album, but I understand why he didn't, because not a lot of people know those songs yet. But once he encored with The Ghost of Ohio, and then he left.
Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you coming out. We'll see you again very soon. Good night.
So once Andy left and was safely back on his bus, I meandered to the middle of the room and took my shoes off. So the final thing that I should talk about is actually when I had the nerve to go over to talk to Yanni and tell him how amazing he is and how proud I am of him for starting his own company. Please go follow My Entertainment Group Incorporated, because Yanni's awesome and we definitely want to support him, right? It was an absolute honor to be able to talk to Yanni. This was actually his second to last tour date before he dropped off of the tour. So I was extremely, incredibly lucky to actually get to communicate with him. And I was thrilled when he said he actually recognized my name from different social media outlets. And we talked a little bit about that. We talked business, we talked YouTube, we talked different things. So super cool to just have a one-on-one intelligent conversation with Yanni. Just small talk, businessy small talk, but it was just really, really awesome to get to talk to him and exchange a few words. I actually got a hug from him, and he suggested that we take a picture, so I got a picture with him too, which I'll pop up right here. And in that picture, I'm not wearing my shoes, so you can see just how short I am in comparison to Yanni. A special thank you to Andy and his tour manager and his booking agent and all of that. You know, I thought it was really cute that he played at the Blind Tiger, because my brain goes Tiger, Bengals, Cincinnati. It was really cool. And he was in Ohio, like, literally the day before he was in Greensboro, which is a really long journey. So, thank you so much for coming all the way to Greensboro from Ohio to play a small Greensboro show. For once, I didn't have to drive over 2 hours to see someone perform. One time I drove 6 hours to see him perform. So it was really cool to just only drive 10-15 minutes.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you. No, seriously, I appreciate it. I want to say, I appreciate each and every one of you spending your hard-earned money and coming out to see the show tonight. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to every band who played. Thank you so much for coming out. I've spent my whole adult life playing music and to varying different crowds and different places. And I just want to say how much I appreciate everything that you've done for me. I wouldn't have this opportunity to follow my dream and do the thing that I've always wanted to do without you giving me this chance, without you putting me up on stage, allowing me to make records, giving me an audience to sing to. I can't thank you enough for everything that you've done to give me this shot, and I hope I get to entertain you for the rest of my life. So thank you again for everything you've done.
You can't deny the connection that you feel like you have with someone when they speak to you through their art. And Andy 100% does that. So thank you to Andy, thank you to Yanni, thank you to his family, and a very special thank you to everyone that helped put this video together and submitted their meet and greet photos. I love all of you so, so much. And I am so, so glad that we got to meet up. Some of us for the first time, some of us not. But I'm so, so thrilled that we got to experience the Andy concert together. And I know I'm going to see all of you at the next one, right? So that was my review of the Andy Black concert at the Blind Tiger in Greensboro, North Carolina. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you come around again soon. Say bye. Bye. There it is. I'm trying to figure out how to pronounce the other band's name. Give me a second. Pause this video right now. Pause it. Wait. Don't pause it yet. So if you haven't...
Okay, real quick, can anyone answer the question? The sticker on the ball cap, is it supposed to stay? Because I don't think it's supposed to stay. I don't want it to stay. But for some reason, I'm thinking in high school, all the guys kept the little sticker on their hats. And I'm wondering if that was just a thing, or if there's a reason behind it. Just let me know if the sticker is supposed to stay, because I don't want to remove it and then people be like, why? So, just let me know.
It was my time to meet Andy. Why does this keep sliding down? Kulik. We'll go with Kulik. I may be wrong. It may be Kulik, but I'm gonna go with Kulik. When it was actually my time to meet... I
know the saying is like the cherry on the pie, but can we just like rebrand the nail into the coffin, because that's so much more cool? And why does it have to be negative?
Skipped frames, apparently. Oh, I accidentally... No, I didn't accidentally. I don't... When it was actually my turn to... come together and form a pretty big group right there at the barricade. And he... And when I...
And then, when it was my turn to meet Andy... why can't I speak?
Comic book. And we all got in... thoughts, opinions.
Boo boo! Kitty cat! I know you're behind me. Come here. It's actually a very fun phone charger. It's a good phone charger, but you don't need to know that, though.
Try saying that 10 times fast. The crow style stare. Which I told myself. But by now, if you're...
Welcome to the Dark Orchard. I'm Laura, and I have a baseball game today.
So my split was... So as you can see, it's actually a... As you can see, it's actually a cameo. Grayson! Bye, Bruce. Bye, Bruce Wayne. What to do? Is that a hair? They are for the... And they are for the case.
Lipstick. That's what I'm missing. There we go. That's much better. Say bye, Bruce. Bye. Say bye, Batman. Say bye, Batman. Bye, Batman. That is the second obscure Jenna Marbles reference that I've made in this video. Are you proud? Are you proud? Where is Anton?
concert. I think I did it right the first time. We don't need to keep doing that. I think I'm good.
So I'm going to try to get this to focus on the stitching and get some of the cat hair off of it.
I can't do that any better. Well, hey, Phoenix. Hey, babe.
Okay, words, things. If you would like for me to do a video on nail stamping, I totally will. I love stamping. Stamping is like the absolute easiest way to get cute designs on your fingers, in my opinion.
And how it And last, but certainly not.
Subscribe to your brand new obsession.
Subscribe to your brand new fellow. Erase that. It's not over. Okay.
I forgot what I was doing. Forgot that I was looking for notes because Jake from Your Brand New Obsession posted something.